This is Matt from Minton Brothers Vintage, and tonight we're going to tear apart this 69 Hendrix era Strat. Hey, this is Matt with Minton Brothers Vintage. I'm here tonight to show you this killer 69 Hendrix era Strat, rosewood board. This is a great guitar. It's a friend of ours, Ed, and he is the original owner. He's got a great story about this guitar. He's, again, the original owner. We're going to have him tell us the story about what he did and what he had to do to acquire the guitar. The guitar has not been played much at all, probably in many years. He did use this guitar to gig with. It's not a trailer queen, so to speak. It is really super clean and almost mint. We'll take a real close look at it. But purpose here is we're just going to, I'm going to do a setup on it. It doesn't need much. It plays good. It's got 8 to 32s on it. We're going to put D'Addario 10 to 46s on it. And we're going to take it apart very gingerly and just take a look at everything and take a look at the neck dates and, you know, all the dates, the pot date codes, squirt some tuner cleaner in the pots, which it needs it, clean the original three-way switch, and just kind of document the guitar for this gentleman. He's a sweetheart of a guy, and we're going to use this guitar to demo some Fender combo amps. You know, what's better to show you some, you know, to demo the drip edge Fender combo amps than this Hendrix era Strat. So anyways, great guitar, excited to show it to you. I'll give you a quick look at it so you can see, you know, this finish is just super duper clean. Obviously a poly finish. It's retained, you know, most of its color. He gigged with this guitar, but there wasn't a night he said that he didn't wipe it down after playing it. You know, this certainly was a tool for him, but he treated it with great care, took really good care of it. On the back, it does have a little bit of what I'd call belt buckle wear. It is definitely not overspray. It kind of looks like a hazing right there, just in this area, but it's from playing it. And you can see on the back of the neck here by the volute, it's missing a little bit of finish, and that's probably from him cleaning it so much. So overall, super clean. You don't see these original tremolo covers too often where they're not cracked or missing or all banged up, but you can kind of in the light see that finish and see how clean it is. It's got a couple of chips down here at the bottom. So overall, amazing that he actually played this guitar but kept it in this good of shape. This thing weighs 7.7 pounds. It's a good weight. When you play it, you can feel it vibrate in your gut. So I think I said it before. This is a really clean example, but it's not a dud of a guitar. It's really a great guitar. So excited to show it to you. So here we go. We got the neck off on this thing, and we'll do a quick look. So we got some green stamps there, and then the ever important green rubber stamp, and those last three numerics in alpha there, 119B, being 11th month of 69, and B being the 1 5/8 nut, which was the most common. They range from 1.5 inches to 1 7/8 inches. I'll show you the neck pocket. Just leaving all the screws in, and there's a shim in there, so I'm not going to flip it completely, but this is pretty much dead stock, what you would expect. I think with those two little lacquer marks being chunked off down by these bottom two screws, I'd say certainly the neck plate's been off before. Somebody probably over tightened it, maybe even used a cordless drill, which I'm definitely not a fan of. All right, so here we go. We're going to do the big reveal on the Pickguard. I am betting that that is the first time this has been off. I can see the original wood dust from where they screwed this thing in, and this is bone stock. We'll do some close-ups of it, but it's still got all the wood dust from where they screwed it in. This Pickguard's never been off, I don't believe. So we got the gray bottom pickups that it should have. And we all know that, you know, in 68, 69, I think they were still trying to make these guitars sound clean. I think I'll put a multimeter on these, and we'll look at the resistance on them, and we'll measure them. But I think that these are a little lower than the earlier ones. They were still trying to make these guitars clean for jazz guys and not distort, even at this point in 69. This thing's bone stock. You've got the right CRL 1452 for the time, and it does need some cleaning. A little bit of cleaning will do this thing some justice. Got the original .05 cap on it. And I'll have to take a look at these pots a little closer, and we'll get some pot date codes. We're going to clean this up a little bit. So before I clean these pots, I'm going to give you a close-up. These are CTS pots, 34th week of 69. All three of them, obviously 250K pots for the single coils. Again, we've got the original CRL 1452 switch. The old style, not the 50 style, but the mid transition style before the most recent one. We've got the .05 microfarad ceramic disc cap, and everything's just real nice and tidy and tight. And I'd say that for sure with the dust that you can kind of see the wood dust from where they screwed the pickguard on. This is the first time this pickguard's ever been off, and I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to clean the pots. So we're going to clean these pots, give them a good cleaning. If there's a trick to any of this is spraying. So we're trying to spray into the pot, and we're trying to hold the pot up like this so that it'll run out. All the stuff and contamination can run out. We'll flush these really good a couple times because they've never been flushed, I'd say. And we're going to turn them a bunch of times and kind of rinse and repeat, if you will. I don't want to get this stuff all over the place, but it's really not going to hurt anything. But we're going to be real clean about this. Slightly surgical-like. I'm trying to get that to run out, kind of cleaning that up as it runs out. I'm going to hold it up. All right, that's a pretty good flush right there. And I'm going to turn this a dozen times or so, the full sweep of the pot, and then we'll just do it again. Clean up after ourselves and move on. And then we'll make sure we got it all off the bottom of the Pickguard. before we put it on. Yeah, that's liking that a lot. Yeah, it definitely needed this. That tone pot probably got barely ever used. Hopefully the volume knobs got used. All right, much better. And just kind of all right, and then I'm going to go the other direction to get this to run out of this middle pot here. Go. The pots get tuner cleaner, leaves behind a residual. The switch gets a non-residual cleaner, and that's where we'll get in there with some non-residual cleaner in a nice little bristle brush, and we'll get in and clean all this oxidation off the terminals and kind of like on the switch contact a little bit. Definitely do it some justice. And then the jack gets the residual. You can just spray some tuner cleaner on the end of a 1/4 inch jack and just plug it into the jack 5 or 10 times, and it'll clean it and leave behind that residual, which will help it out a lot. I clean it up after myself here, try not create a mess at all. Treating this guitar with a little more reverence than your average guitar. It's not a 59 Strat or 55 Strat, but it's still a really nice guitar and really clean, and want to treat it with a lot of respect. Want to leave things a lot better than we found them, without changing anything. I really like the fact that it had the dust from where they screwed the pickguard in. Got some good pictures of that. So, without any shadow of a doubt, this was 34th week of 69 on the pots, which would make it basically August, mid-August. Pots are usually obviously ahead of when the neck was made. Kind of all falls in line with that 200,000 serial number starting in 263. I'd say this is a late 69 guitar. I'm not a Fender expert. I know a lot more about Gibsons than I do Fenders, but I know enough, and I can confidently say this is a late 69. If somebody knows more and they want to correct me, please do. I think life's a lot better when we can all learn from each other. I don't claim to know it all, especially when it comes to Fenders. One little noteworthy tip or noteworthy thing I wanted to mention is how the volume and the numbers all are green on this volume versus the tones definitely are more of a black or a real dark gray color. All right, I'm going to clean this switch up and we're going to get this thing going. So it was pretty funny on these first 3 that I pulled out. They were basically at probably at least a 25-degree angle. They're not screwed in, and here I am being real careful to make sure I get the screws back in the same hole. Kind of puts things in perspective. One thing's for sure is I don't use any power drills, cordless screwdrivers, even the low speed ones that have low torque. I don't use them on old guitars. I might use them on new guitars, or if I was in a production environment trying to speed things up and be efficient, but I don't use any of that stuff, especially on these old guitars. So there you go. You can see the angle that these screws were put in at, which is laughable that I'm taking so much time to try to get the screws that came out of the holes right back where they went. In all cases, whether this is a new or old pickguard, I'm not going to screw these all the way down. I am going to get them most of the way there, and then I'm going to come back and just ever so gently tighten these things down. You got to be careful with this old plastic. The stuff is shrinking and it wants to crack and wants to break off, and we definitely don't want to use any cordless drills or power screwdrivers, any of that stuff. I took some close-ups of the board, but I just got to show you these frets. I mean, he played light gauge strings and with a light touch. He is not a heavy player, but there's almost no marks in these original frets. So before I put these strings on, as I've said before, I'm not a big fan of polishing old guitars, buffing them out, using too much compound. I know it's a little hillbilly to, not that there's anything wrong with hillbilly, but hillbilly's a term of endearment for me, but it's a little hillbilly to do this with my shirt. But the truth is t-shirts. I'm not in my shop. I'm at my brother's kitchen table, and it's late, and I want to go home. So we're just kind of giving this a quick once over with my t-shirt, and that's about what I like to do. I don't want to put a bunch of polish on this or anything else. Just trying to get the finger marks off of it. I like patina. All right, I got this thing strung up with 10s on it. It is definitely liking these 10s compared to the 8s. This thing is really singing. It's a real resonant guitar. So back to the jack. Got this deoxit, which is good stuff. There's lots of different kinds that'll work, and I just spray a little bit on the tip of the jack, and I just it's how I was taught to do it over 40 years ago, and you know what, there may be a better way, but it still works pretty good. So with the heavier strings, you can hear it. It's killer. I'm gonna let this thing sit for a couple of days and see what the truss rod does. See if it's happy with where it's gonna land with these 10s. And if so, I'm gonna proceed to adjust the action, kind of go through the setup with a fine tooth comb. It's kind of late and it's a school night, so I gotta work tomorrow. Come back another day and finish it off, and then we'll plug it in some amps and see what y'all think.